Bud from Munt. Welcome to Nightbreed, man. How are you?
Hey man, how are you?
Yeah, good. So 2016, Munt started as this solo thing, yeah? What made you decide to kick that off?
Yeah, man. Well, it basically started I'm originally from Scotland in the
Hmm.
UK,
Yeah.
and I moved over to Melbourne, Australia in 2015. And basically, yeah, I kind of just got the itch to start something and kind of finish it was, I guess, the original plan. So that's why it was like, yeah, all just kind of a solo project. I just kind of picked up like an old guitar from one of my old friends and then started writing some riffs
Hmm.
and chucking some stuff together. And then I kind of didn't really want to do like all of the vocals and stuff myself. So I ended up just like hitting up a bunch of friends and things like that that are from various bands in various countries.
Hmm.
And because it was just something I was doing, all recording and mixing myself and stuff, I was like, I'm just going to get them to do various parts on it and that as well. And that kind of all spiraled together into what the first EP was, which was Mind as a Cage,
Hmm.
which again, like I said, was really just the idea behind that was to just do something that I was really like gonna write myself and record myself and have other people involved, but just make sure it was finished, like whatever
Hmm.
kind of state it was in and get it out. And then from that, like basically that's how I kind of met some of the other players that we have now.
Hmm.
Ronnie, our bass player, has been a friend of mine, one of my first friends that I made when I moved over here.
Cool.
And basically, when he heard it, he was like, "Yo, if you do this as a band, like, get me to play bass." And so I did. And we jammed with one of our other mates, Seb, who was our first full-time drummer. And he was a drummer on the first two singles after that, and the Towards Extinction EP as well. And yeah, we just kind of like I don't know, the first couple of I guess the first like up until like end of 2017, 2018, maybe. It was just a bit of a blur. We didn't really have a plan. It was more or less just get into a room, play some songs, played the old songs and learned them. And then I was always kind of constantly writing some new songs and stuff as well. And yeah, we kind of just messed about with various different people. Like we had a couple of friends come and do some vocals and stuff, just messing around in the studio and like did some things. And then yeah, just eventually settled on our Tim, who's our singer now, and it was the four of us for a little while, and then for a couple of months, I think, and then Saul joined on second guitar, and then that was the kind of the unit that we had that yeah, we did those. I mean, the two singles as well after the first EP were kind of like I did pretty much most of the recording on that. I just worked with another producer for it. Um, and then yeah, once we had the kind of full lineup from there, we kind of started writing and finished Towards Extinction, and then kind of just did the rest after that as well. Yeah, like it's kind of blurry as well, I guess, because Towards Extinction we did like a little sort of East Coast run, and we had that out for a couple of months, and then that's basically when COVID happened and the world
Yeah.
hit,
Yeah, of course.
and
Yeah.
stuff. So it gets a bit hazy after that, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the bottom line is we spent 2 years writing again and doing more stuff, and now we're obviously where we're at now. So yeah,
Yeah, cool.
that's a rough history.
Yeah. Yeah, the Vengeful March the video that you put out. Where is that? It looks cool. You got like rust and shit around you. Like,
Yeah, it's a really cool place. So it's in Melbourne, and it's a studio that basically has like I don't know, like it's like a kind of performance chamber sort of thing, and it's basically just like a big concrete room, that yeah, like we kind of knew immediately, um, where we wanted to do it, like because we kind of wanted to just try and keep that video simple. Like that was like this like our first like video, and we were really like concerned about like overcomplicating things and like basically like it not getting completed in the end because it would just have like been like I don't know, made too complicated or anything. So
mhm.
we were like, we really just want to get like a concrete room like that we can play in and just make as much noise as we need to basically as well. So yeah, like it's I'm trying to remember the name of the studio now as well.
Yeah,
It's
it's
completely
got
gone
that.
out of my
Yeah.
mind.
All right. Yeah.
But yeah, it's just a place in Melbourne, and yeah, just perfect for what we needed. So just a big concrete room. We were just like, let's just chuck our guitars and stuff in there, and we're very much like a kind of like, we don't really. like I don't know, like hide behind kind of different personalities or anything. Like you kind of get what you get with us. Like hence the recording and stuff as well. Like the for the new EP and everything, we wanted to do like a really real um like a real but like really still big and like heavy like recording and be like that reflective of like what you get live and stuff. So that's kind of what we wanted to do for the first video. We're just like, let's just kind of just be ourselves basically. Let's just throw ourselves into a room, just play how we normally play, just turn the track up like really loud and just have a good time. And when it came out great, it definitely didn't like, I think when we were all like doing it at the time, but like we were kind of surprised when we got the first edits back because I was just like, huh, it looks way cooler than I remember it like being in my head.
Yeah, yeah.
So but
Yeah,
it
that's
was cool.
cool.
And yeah, so that studio as well, that the room's in is Magnet Studios in Melbourne. So if anybody needs a cool ass concrete performance chamber, I think they host shows and stuff like that in there as well. There's like they do like noise gigs and stuff and performance and art things. But yeah, Magnet Studios, it's like a converted, I think it was like an old mushroom farm. So it's like a
Okay.
converted mushroom farm thing. It's a cool vibe.
Yeah.
Like they're very, very lovely there and very helpful. So
Hmm.
yeah.
That's cool. So with the new EP, was there a different approach? Like now that you've got other guys playing with you, is there a sort of input from those guys as well?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, like even like with the people before we have the kind of lineup that we had now, um, the band like has all I've always had the idea because as soon as basically when I started playing with other people, like real people in Melbourne, and it started to become a thing when we started jamming with like Ronnie and Seb and stuff like that, I pretty much like made up my mind that I was like, I don't want to be like overbearing about this. Like I want to let the project grow in whatever way it's naturally going to grow with
Mm.
the people that are a part of it. And that's always kind of happened. And yeah, just I don't know, trying not to like force down a certain way or anything like that. Just kind of like taking everybody's opinions on board. Still the ship still needs someone to steer it, like at the helm, obviously. Like I do believe that it's good to have like one person that can like make core decisions and stuff like that. But definitely like influence from other people. And I mean, we all bring like a different side. Like we're all each member that we have now is like everyone's into the same music, but also likes very, very different things individually. And like one of our two of us like similar things as well. And like we
Mm.
all like some things, and then some of us hate the other things that other people like. It's like quite a complicated mix. And so we're all like bringing like quite a lot into it and stuff as well. Um, but I mean, it's good. Like again, like we've all kind of got that attitude that the band should just like naturally evolve with the people that are in it, rather than trying to force people into, like I don't know, just it's hard because like I guess some people don't always want to be creative, like not everybody wants to put in ideas. Some people are just happy to turn up, learn the riffs and pray
Mm.
and play,
Yeah, yeah,
which is also
true.
sick.
Mm.
So I guess like me and Saul do like a lot of like the core writing and stuff like that. And but I guess in like these new songs and stuff, like yeah, we all kind of played parts at different on different parts of the timeline of putting their own things into these songs. And I can only think that that's maybe why we're so happy with like the results that we've got, because we
Mm.
have all like we really took the time to make sure that like everything that we wanted was going to be in there,
Mm.
because we had it because everybody was locked in the house. So
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's cool. It's worked out. So the cover, it's that's cool. You got your many fingered thing going on. Like, what was the idea there? Like, what kind of input did you put into that image?
yeah, well, I mean, finding the artwork because we normally we're the kind of band that are like quite heavy on the artwork side of things. So I know that like some bands like that's very much the last thing that they do, and sometimes it's just like very last minute, and it's whether it's to do with like a subject of this song or whether it's just like something that looks cool or whatever. Like I know some bands that don't put as much thought into that because it's not really a priority for them, whereas us like for like certainly for some members of the band like the visual aspect is like very very important, like the artistic direction too. There's like a lot of influence into that. And yeah, I mean we shortlisted a couple of artists that we kind of looked at different designs for because I guess we knew what the songs were about and we had kind of like a vague idea, but we also weren't like sure if we wanted that to determine the artwork. We'd also seen some. I guess we shortlisted a few people and then we kind of like spitballed a few concepts with them and like gave them like some reference material from like their own material to be like, you've done this for these guys, this is kind of cool, whatever.
Yeah.
but very much like that. And so yeah, like Stan Ivan, the Russian artist that we got to do the cover, he was basically kind of top of the pile. Like when we looked all through his stuff and that, we were just like, it was not so much like getting a perfect image to match the music, I guess. It was more just like an image that matched the vibe of the music. Like it didn't have to be a specific thing. It was more just like something that had to make you be uncomfortable. And so we had like a bunch of like sketched ideas. Like Tim, our vocalist, is like very much part of like the visual aspect of the band. And he had a lot of influence into it, and we got a bunch of things back. But the skull and hand things, just like it was the first one that we were all kind of just unanimously like that just really matches like the kind of sound that we think that we've got for this. And like it was just like uncomfortable, just those eyes. There's like the two tiny little glints like in the eyes and stuff, and the hands and things. And we were just like, yeah, this is just what we want, and then kind of match like our name and stuff as well, and like the whole kind of vibe for it. It just kind of felt right when we messed around with it. And obviously Stan as well was an incredible artist. Like everyone should check out his Instagram, Stan Ivan. He's just an incredible horror artist. Like Geiger would be proud. He's like really, really amazing. So
Yeah, cool. That's something. Talking about visual aspects. So you guys changed your logo over the years. What sort of spurred that idea to make it? It looks like more metal, I guess.
Just
I don't know. What's
yeah, I don't know, man. Just
Yeah.
again, like Tim does a lot of like the visual things, and like he messes around with a lot of logos, and he'll just like draw up things randomly, because he does a lot of graphic design himself and stuff. And so like yeah, he'll kind of just randomly like chuck us folders now and again of things that will maybe just be like random mock-up logos. And yeah, I guess it's just evolved over time. Like we had like like kind of like original couple of logos that we had that were, again, we were in such a stage of infancy at the time that we were just like whatever looks cool or anything like that. It doesn't matter if it's legible or anything. And then just as time kind of progressed, we just started just making it like, I don't know, like bigger, more kind of jaggier. Again, like as sort of things were thrown in, it was just like this just kind of looks cool, and it looked like it felt like a kind of natural evolution of it, just like kind of like growing up. So yeah, and I mean, it wasn't really thought. The idea behind it was not really like, the music's becoming like maybe what people would consider like more metal or more death metal or whatever. So we should have like a more death metal logo. It wasn't really that. It was more just like we eventually kind of just landed on that because it was again something that looked like that we all just kind of vibed with for it. We were like, it's legible, it's cool, it's big, it's easy to print, it looks good. It's not too over the top or anything like that as well. So we were like, yeah, we've kind of settled on it. Who knows? Maybe in 6 months we'll have another logo.
Yeah.
Anything can happen. We're very indecisive people.
That's cool. And I want to ask about a couple of your other projects, bands. The Color Pink is gay. The Color Pink is gay. Is that something that still lives,
No, I mean that is just an ancient part of history, from a time long gone, which was I mean it was fun, like kind of tech death, very sort of tongue in cheek and stuff, obviously. And yeah, I mean that was kind of just like, I don't know, you're kind of like teenage years band or whatever, I guess, like with friends back in Glasgow and that. And we had some good times and we did some good things and stuff, and definitely like I think like a lot of people and probably everybody actually that hears like a name like that for the first time, obviously like probably generates like, an opinion. But I think we probably surprised like quite a lot of people. That was kind of the whole point with it. It was to be very tongue in cheek and funny, but also like shocking to anybody that it would be like, that's like quite a mad name or anything. But it was always just, it was funny to try and like just mess with people, turn around to the opinion, I guess, and like kind of make it just about the music and things like that as well, which is what it was really about.
That's cool.
But it was good, man. That's what I mean. Like, it was fun. Like we did some cool things. We played Tech Fest Festival when Sixth actually did their like they went when they returned when they did the return year,
Mm.
um, which was amazing to play on a similar same stage as them and with other bands like Filled Your Heart and stuff like that too. So yeah, did some cool shit, you know.
Mm. Yeah,
Good
yeah. And the
memories.
I like the I checked out that Super 8 video for DVDA. That's cool, man. Like that's really fun.
Yeah, man. I mean,
Yeah.
again, it was just a fun, like it was fun things to do. Like one of our mates that was a videographer, like had this idea because he got this old Super 8 camera and he got a bunch of film for it. And he was
Mm.
like, "Look, I really want to do a video. I love you guys. I love the music. I think it would be really good." And then we just kind of like came up with like a funny story. And
Yeah.
honestly, like I think it must be funny watching it, obviously not knowing any of us as well. But like watching that video back because it was like, we all like self acted in it. And then, we did it like some of the shots and stuff that are in the cafe or like a local cafe that we all used to go to like
Oh,
before
cool. Yeah.
rehearsals like every weekend.
Yeah.
And so we were just like, hey, can we shoot like a bit of a video in here and shit like that? And then just did like performance stuff in the studio that we rehearsed at and stuff. So yeah, it was pretty fun. Like
Mm.
I think I watched it back quite recently and I was just like, that's actually doesn't look as bad as I remember it being in my mind,
Yeah, yeah, that's pretty
So
cool. Yeah. The other band was is Who Bastard. You guys put out an EP last year. So
yeah, man.
yeah. So how did that
Yeah,
all
it's
sort of start, Who Bastard?
there's Jack that plays bass, and Jack is in a band, a Sydney-based band called Burial Pit.
Yeah, yeah, no, better put, yeah.
And then there's Ben. Yes, and Ben, our drummer, is in a band. He's based in Melbourne. Well, Jack's in Melbourne now as well. But anyway, Ben's in a Melbourne-based band called Gone Swimming, who are like a kind of like surf punk, surf rock band, and with and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
So we messaged Burial Pit basically, and we're like, hey, we love you guys. They had just kind of appeared at the time as well and put their first song out.
Mm.
So yeah, that I kind of met Jack then because he was the one I was talking to through it. And so yeah, Munt and Burial Pit played. And so basically Ben and Jack are best friends of sorts, I guess. And they basically just wanted to play in a band together.
Yeah.
And Jack messaged me one day. I've got these songs that I've been writing. And he was actually like, do you know anybody that plays guitar that does like any kind of sort of black metal vocals, like, something along those lines or whatever? And I was obviously like, yeah, like I could probably do it. Like, what is the material? Like, what is it?
Mm.
And he described it to me first, and he was like, "Look, it's kind of like surf rock mixed with black metal." And then the reason it is because he was like, "I really just want to play in a band with my friend Ben, but like he plays surf rock and I play metal, and basically I just want to mash the two together somehow, and like this is what I've come up with." And then he sent me over like a handful of songs, and I was kind of like, "Huh, that sounds a bit whack or whatever." Like, hey, but I'll listen to the song, see what happens. And then I listened to them, and I was just like, "Holy shit! Like this has got a vibe."
Mm.
I was
Yeah,
just like, I can hear some stuff over this, and so yeah, I was basically looked at it, and he was like, "Wow, I didn't even think you were ever, man." So it's like, yeah, we kind of just put it together. I think I like did a couple of vocal demos because basically the way it works is that Jack kind of writes everything all
Mm.
together. He'll write all the bass and guitar parts, and then he'll chuck like some program drums on it or whatever, and then like Ben will kind of like make his own drum patterns over the guitars and bass that Jack has done.
Mm-hmm.
And I tend to not really touch it, to be honest. Like I'll maybe add a couple of like extra like notes into a chord or something like that, but I mostly just follow what Jack does. And those two actually write a lot of the lyrics and stuff as well because
Oh,
like I am a pretty lazy lyricist. So I guess I kind of got this sort of pop star role in the band where I just kind of like have to know the material and turn up and play the gigs, which suits me
cool.
fine.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is the mentality I've got myself into with it basically. So yeah, it's kind of just like spawned from that, and yeah, like I said, like I did a couple of demos on things, and we got together in the room and played a few songs and stuff, and got a bit again, just like a vibe for it. It was because it was like it wasn't meant to be anything. It was just obviously again kind of how Month started. It was like just fun in the room. Like we weren't like, we want to play shows and we want to do this and the next thing or whatever and record and shit like that. It was like let's just like fuck about, see what happens. And we had a couple of mates like in the studio that we rehearse at because Who Bastard rehearses at the same studio as Munt, and we have like a whole family of people and bands from various genres and things that all practice at rehearsal studio. Danger Tone Studios in Melbourne, definitely. practice there if you're in Melbourne. It is amazing. Luke and Emma will look after you so well. And they have a sick studio dog as well, which is obviously always a mad bonus. But yeah, we got in and started playing some songs and stuff like that. And then yeah, like Luke, the owner and the engineer of Danger Tone, like he was really vibing it and stuff. And he was like, if you got any plan to record or anything, then we kind of just came up with the idea of being like, let's just do like a live in the room recording of all the instruments, and then I'll basically do all the vocals like overdubbed.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't even meant to be a release. It was just like, let's just do it as a day and then an experiment and just see how it kind of comes out. And of course, because we weren't trying or anything, like, I mean, we were obviously trying, but not trying to do anything with it or that, I guess. It came back sounding, well, we were really happy with it, we were like, this is awesome. And so that's what became the Gangrel EP, basically. There's kind of like a succession of EPs like kind of already written.
Oh, cool. Okay.
And they're all like 4 tracks. We just kind of do it when we have time and when we have fun and things. Like the other guys, like Jack's got a newborn baby girl, and we've got like other things on, other bands and things like that. So it's really just like something to do on the side when we have fun. But it seems to be doing pretty well. We've got a show next week in Melbourne at Nighthawk. So if anybody again is in Melbourne, wants to see some mad black metal surf rock crossover that you probably couldn't imagine, but also sounds exactly what you think it sounds like, then yeah, check it out.
So back to Munt. You've got the one video out and the EP's coming. Is there any more videos on the
way? There might be.
Okay. All right.
I'm probably not at liberty to divulge that, but also by saying that probably gives away quite a bit.
Yeah.
But there may or may not be another video dropping around about the same time as the EP.
Yeah, cool.
Everyone will just have to wait and see.
Oh, yeah. No, that's good. Cool. Awesome. And then like you got shows planned, that kind of thing for after the EP's out?
Yeah, so we're kind of looking at release shows just now. Probably like I think we're gonna maybe do a release show around June time in Melbourne, which is going to be our focus. I've kind of thrown it like everyone out of the boat because I'm going back home for a couple of weeks across May and June. Okay. So trying to do a release show before then was like proving a little bit difficult. We're being quite specific about the bands that we want to play with for it and that we want to select for it. We want it to be like quite a special show. And so like if the people that we can't really do it, then we're trying to like basically find a date that we can do where everyone can do it. So it's looking like kind of end of June time, there'll be a release show. And then yeah, we've got some more stuff in the pipeline for like towards the end of the year. We've got like an East Coast run with another very good Melbourne band that I cannot divulge just now either, but that will be happening towards the end of the year, and we'll just kind of see what happens. We kind of, the focus was really to get the music out and then kind of make decisions about shows and kind of see what offers and things we get as well. Again, we're all in multiple projects and things as well, so like Munt is very much a priority for us all, but it's also like got to juggle it amongst like 2 or 3 other bands per member, plus all of the other stuff that is entitled with life and working and trying to survive and stuff. But and Australia is a bit of a nightmare for touring, to be honest. Like coming from like Europe, it's like amazing and the crowds are great and like the venues are awesome and stuff. But obviously, like it's a lot to drive and it's very hard to cover like a large area. Without just like flying to like the major cities or anything like that, because I don't really like doing that. Like I think we should be like bands should play the regional places and they should drive all the way through and try and hit as many places as they can. But like it's a bloody massive country.
Yeah, it is. With a big long bit in the middle. Yeah.
Yeah, well, exactly. But there's still people there too. I mean, that's the thing. Like, we sell shit tons of merch to people from like, because I always check out like towns when someone orders something that I've never heard of a town or whatever, I'll check out to see where it is. And we sell shit tons of merch to people that live like in places that would be considered the middle of nowhere. And that, and I'm just like, see, man, I'm telling you, like, these are all the people that like, they're the real ones that buy the stuff and like come out to the shows and go hard. And I've played in enough small places to know that like it can go down pretty well. So
yeah. No, that's good, man.
but
Cool.
it's hard to hit a lot of them.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. No, cool. Well, look, Spud, thanks for your time. Good to talk. And yeah, best of luck with the EP and the shows and everything, man.
Awesome. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate
Cool.
it.
All right, have a good one, man. Yeah.
Good, bro.